We are driving up to one of the most notorious prisons in Syria. It's called Sednaya, and recently the doors have been flung open and the prisoners that were left have been allowed out. And now we are going in to get a sense of what might have happened here.
Sednaya Prison was primarily used to detain political prisoners, including those who opposed Assad, activists, journalists, and perceived dissidents.
The prison was opened in 1987, and within Syria it was known as the human abattoir. Pretty much, if you were a prisoner here, it's unlikely you would have made it out. From what I hear, if you survived the torture, that was one thing, but you also had to survive the conditions. We're at 1,600 meters altitude. It's cold. There wouldn't have been heating. So it would have been one of the harshest places on the planet to survive. Oh, gosh. So already, from the minute you step in, it's dark.
Steady.
Oh, gosh. Shall we get our phone torches on?
Sure.
Oh, it's actually frightening just standing here,
yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Just... Oh,
It's
gosh.
made to be frightening, you know?
It feels frightening. Just even stood here, I just don't want to walk in, is how I feel. So this is the kitchen. And this, what was this area here?
This is the stoves to cook.
The stoves. Can we see them?
You can see here
Oh, yes.
which pots
Yeah,
cook. Yeah,
I see.
we're using charcoal.
Yeah.
Actually, this prison fits 10 to 20,000. It was made to fit 10 to 20,000 prisoners. But we know that, the week before the liberation, it was 4,000 people. Only 300 were liberated. So the question
Really?
is, where are the others?
Oh, you're
Where
kidding?
are the others? Yeah.
A week before?
Yes. Yeah, we had there is a paper that shows we have 4,000. So where are the others?
Oh.
Yeah.
3,700 people that vanished.
Yes.
That's a lot. Surely, though, the 300 that were liberated, what are they saying?
Yeah.
What
Actually,
did they hear?
yeah, they say it was really very frightening. They were tortured. They were humiliated.
Yes.
And because they see friends, but they don't see them anymore, and they don't know their fate.
No, they
So
don't know
we-
what happened.
Yeah, we met some prisoners, and they say there are these kind of people, but we don't see them anymore, and
No.
we don't know what they did to them.
No.
Yeah. See a big generator.
So this is right. We're going down. This is underneath the kitchen. Oh, yes. There's a generator there. I can smell the diesel
Exactly.
as we go down. So this fired up the power.
I mean, there were the sanctions, you know. So as a result, the regime said that we lack fuel. This is why they
Yeah.
stopped actually supplying this prison with fuel, and as a result, this will make people even cold.
Of course. And then just going to die faster,
Correct,
aren't they?
yeah.
Look at all this paperwork that we're walking over. So we can see paper here. And you're saying that it's like an order, like for food, is it? What does that one say?
Yes, for bread.
Yeah.
Or,
And flour.
flour.
And flour. Does this have a date on this one?
Yes.
No, it's
2012.
2012?
820.
God,
2002.
gosh, this is, they kept old.
Yeah.
Like, they kept their paperwork for
Yeah,
years.
Of course, yeah. It's bureaucracy.
Yeah. Phew. My eyes have adjusted now. When we first came in, I couldn't see anything, but my eyes are adjusting now and I'm seeing it. Yeah. So, of course, the prisoners wouldn't have come here. This is just where the food was made, and then it was taken to their cells, I guess, if they were lucky. Just walking over so many books and ledgers and papers strewn everywhere. The smell of diesel is everywhere in this place. So what are these pictures here on the wall?
Some of the families, they didn't find their loved ones.
Yeah.
So they put a picture of them
Yes.
and a number.
Yeah, if you come across this picture looks old. I mean, all of them do actually, don't they? 1980, 1997.
The top left one, they said it was missed since 2012.
Right.
They didn't find any information
No.
about it.
Right. So what is this entrance then?
So we'll go now to the cells.
Okay.
Right, to the main prison.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Got it.
First, let's see here. There are some very notorious cells.
Oh my goodness. These are cells.
These are cells. You can see it's this huge spot, and they made the cells very narrow.
Yes.
On purpose, to do some kind of torturing.
Look at this. Oh gosh. These are seriously narrow. Oh. Oh, look at this. That must be, I'm guessing, about 60 centimeters wide from here to here. 60 centimeters, I would say, maximum. Probably about 7 feet tall. And it is absolutely freezing in here, isn't it? So if we look at this space, I can't see anything that resembles any kind of heating. Anything that resembles, like, would there have been some form of heat coming in?
I don't think that heating here in this place. Yeah, could be some kind of torturing. Yeah, part of it is the torturing.
Yeah, the mental
to be honest,
side.
We hear stories from people.
Of course.
Because this prison was secretive, because rarely you can come out of this
Yes,
prison.
it's hard to know.
It's hard to know the real stories.
That's really tough. Look at this. Yeah. You see how it's worn at the back here? You see how it's white here and then it's worn? I wonder whether that's because they sat back. Moisture, it could be the damp, humidity. I wonder whether people just sat there, I don't know. Walking around in this space here with these really narrow cells all around the edge. First of all, I can tell you it's very cold here. I mean, my fingers are absolutely ice cold. I've got 3 tops on. I've got a coat and I've got a scarf, and I'm really cold. So it's hard to imagine how anyone would survive for long in these conditions if they weren't properly dressed. When the prison doors were opened 3 weeks ago, it was only about 300 prisoners, I believe, that came out. That's all that was here. And yet a week before, as Rami said, there were 4,000 registered. So obviously families wanted to know where their loved ones were. And there was a theory that the prison had like 3 floors beneath it. So efforts were made to dig down to find out whether they were here. Sadly, nobody was found, and no underground prison was discovered. But you can see here places where they dug down to see whether or not that was true. Look at these.
This is the main cells, you know. You have 2 dress codes. The red one, sentenced to death.
Oh.
The orange, sentenced to life.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
You are kidding. So somebody, I hope that somebody who is let out
Maybe
managed
they
to...
were because they said actually there were people sentenced to death, and they were liberated in the final minutes before they...
In the final minutes, you're kidding.
Before they are executed.
Wow. Somebody had to wear this. Look at this.
It was now time to head into one of the infamous prison wings. Each wing contained 10 cells. You can see the doors here wide open from when the opposition released any surviving prisoners just weeks before.
Look at the clothing here, strewn. Where's all the clothing coming from? The people in there. So this goes to show how many people must have been in here. I mean, there's hundreds of items of clothing here. Look, I'm looking here, look, we've got everything from pants to t-shirts. There's what looks like a hat there. Socks and buckets. Oh, and again, if I'm looking in there, I'm just trying to sort of get a sense of the heaters or there's kind of like extractor fans here. But of course the country, because the country has been under economic sanctions, the whole country, hot water, things like hot water and electricity have been something that nobody has enjoyed. So certainly in the prison, these guys wouldn't have got that kind of luxury first. But again, it's considering it's up on a hill, it's exposed. It must have been a case of huddling together to stay warm. Yeah, if I just stand in here. Oh gosh, it's just...
It's totally dark.
It's totally dark. There's a tiny bit of light coming in through the bottom, through a grate, but it's a pretty depressing place. Ooh, just makes my skin crawl. Honestly, I just need to just walk out backwards. It's scary.
Yeah.
See it outside. You see excavations here happening, just to see whether or not there was an underground prison. You can see how remote it is. You can see the distance. We're up on a hill, surrounded by massive walls. And you can see over there the watchtowers in the distance, up there. Just walked past a pile of prosthetic limbs. And again, your mind is left wondering whether the people entered the prison with them or whether they were given them at the prison based on things that happen here. It doesn't really bear thinking about. This looks like a kind of office where an officer would have stayed, potentially, because I can't imagine any prisoner being given a bed. There are a couple of beds there. You can see here, look, paperwork. A few medicine packets there on the floor. Blankets. Right, I need to find Mummy. Certainly don't want to get left behind here, that's for sure. Look at this. Oh, look, more of these uniforms strewn on the floor. What's that? It's a cat. God. Oh,
What a crazy cat.
it's a crazy cat. Ooh, trying to escape. It's trying to escape. Look at that. Look in here, there's even clothes hanging up. It's really hard to get a sense of how many people were in here. But certainly based on the amount of clothing, it must have been an extraordinary amount. And I think this goes to show why the conditions would have been so difficult, because not only would you have been battling with cold, torture, it would have been just being in a crowded space. And obviously, I don't know what happened in COVID times here.
You know what? I think a lot of people died from lung diseases, because here the main issue is humidity.
Yeah.
So if you go there,
damp,
there is
isn't it?
this. Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
What do they call it?
And pneumonia?
Yeah, pneumonia.
Pneumonia?
Or this that will affect the lung, you know?
Yes, I mean,
Losses, something like
well, I don't know, you would have, there's loads, bronchitis,
Yeah.
loads of things, but you would have ended up with pneumonia, I suspect, if you had and I think that was the problem with COVID. If you had COVID and you couldn't get over it, you'd end up with pneumonia. We've just come across this stretcher, and given its location and the fact that it is right by the cells, I can only assume it would have been to carry dead people out of. Yeah. If you're on that, you're in serious trouble, I think. Part of the challenge of getting to the bottom of what actually happened to people here is that it sounds to me like a lot happened behind closed doors. And so I was asking the question of the 300 prisoners that have come out, what have they said? What Rami is saying is that for many of them, they're saying, you know, 1 minute their friend was there, the next minute they were gone. Maybe, could it be a bit like Auschwitz, where they took them away and they did these horrific things and no one really knew what was happening? I think what it needs is some of the people that worked here to come forward and start talking so that, you know, the families can get to the bottom of what happened.
When I visited, it was still the early days following the liberation. This gave us a rare opportunity to uncover lingering traces of the suffering endured by the prisoners. One such discovery appeared at first to be nothing more than a pile of rubbish, but upon closer inspection, we realised it was a collection of discarded medicine, a haunting testament to their struggles.
Yeah, look at this. What do they give them? Gosh. Look at...
Isoniazid. I see this a lot.
What's that one?
Isoniazid.
What is it? Do you know what it is?
Google.
Yeah, Google it.
Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, that's what you were thinking earlier. Yeah. Tuberculosis. So given what we've just seen inside and the conditions and how cold it is and how many prisoners were in each cell, I feel like I'm starting to get a sense of many of the problems here that go beyond just being in the most hideous prison in Syria.
But the clues didn't end there.
Hair removal gel. See, look, like, what's that about? Not being funny, but there's some very strange... Wonder oil. What the hell was that for? I'm sure it wasn't to keep their legs silky smooth. That's for sure. I've been told that this is where people were executed. Along here.
They hang them with the ropes.
Oh.
There used to be ropes. I don't know. They removed them, the people here. I can imagine that the prisoner would really be hanged, and then they will be like this. Like this, and then someone from the guards maybe would just, you know.
Yeah, just swipe their feet.
Yes, and I'm imagining, you know.
Yeah. There are many thousands of families in Syria who just don't know what happened to their loved ones once they came here. And one person that I am with today, my lovely driver, Ahmad, he is one of those people. Some years ago, his son, who was 22 years old, phoned him at a checkpoint. And he said, "I'm at the checkpoint." And then the phone line cut. And the next thing he knew was that his son was in prison here. Over the years, he tried to get information on him and find out what happened. And the information never came. And he never saw him again. What year did your son come here?
2014.
2014. Do you have any idea why he was taken at the checkpoint? No reason. No reason, he was just taken.
They could really take anybody for anything.
Yes.
He has this nostalgic feeling of my son was here, living here.
Yeah.
Last years of his life.
Yeah.
He spent it here.
Yeah.
So you can imagine, I mean, I'm just imagining him being inside one of the cells, and it's hard.
Ahmed spent 4 long years desperately seeking news of his son, but no word ever came. Then, one day, whilst browsing family records online, he stumbled upon something he had never wanted to confront.
So by accident, he was just issuing a paper
really?
from the state.
Yes.
And it was kind of the family record.
Yes.
And, you know, by accident, he saw that his
He
son
spotted it
was
just by accident. What an awful shock that must have been.
On that paper they issued, it's written that civilian court house or civilian sentence.
So, but does that just suggest how he died?
Yes, suggest like kind of without court. He was decided on ground. You know,
Yeah.
it's like civilian.
Right, so is it
Death.
likely that it would be an execution then, of some description?
Most likely,
Okay.
Most likely.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah. How does he process that feeling of what happened in those 9 months? How does he live with that?
كيف أنت تأقلمت مع فكرة إنه ابنك يعني توفى بهيك ظروف؟
صبرنا برب العالمين يعني هذا
Faith.
Faith.
Faith is
Yeah.
the word.
Yeah. Yeah.
وجهك صورته كمان مشان
Now he will show us the photo of Muhammad.
Yes. Oh, there he is.
He's handsome.
Yeah, he's a handsome man.
يعني عمره 22 سنة كان هون.
He was 22.
Oh. Yeah, he looks like a nice man. Well, I'm really sorry.
دكتور.
There's something about closure in these situations where we want to know what happened. People need to know what actually happened. Why did they disappear? How did they disappear? But so far, no one's talking.
To all the families that lost loved ones here, I hope one day they are given the answers to their questions. And to those that caused such incredible torment, I would urge you to do one good deed in this lifetime before it's too late, and put an end to the continuing uncertainty of so many.